Arden Labs, specializing in high-performance software consulting, training, staffing, and development. Module 12, Testing. You are now watching Lesson 12.2, Table Unit Testing.
Next, I want to show you how to write a table test. Lots of people in the Go community like table tests. I actually like table tests when you can apply them because it means that with one test function, we can go ahead and test separate inputs and outputs all in one place. There could be times where the test logic doesn't have to change, just the data. So let me show you how to write a table test in Go. So we're going to go back again. We're going to use that HTTP and testing package, and I'm going to have my two constants, success and failure, on line 12 and 13. This time, the test download function on line 18, what we're going to do is construct our table. A lot of times, a table is just a slice of these struct values, and it doesn't have to be based on a name type. It could be this literal type like I'm doing, where we're going to define both the input and the output. So what you see on line 18 is the declaration of a slice of this literal struct type, one with the URL, and then the other field is a status code. And then you see that we're doing the construction underneath, setting up the table. So right now what we've done is we've added a URL to test the status OK or 200, and then we've kind of taken a URL from CNN that we broke that should be the 404, status not found. And what's great is I can come back into this table and add different URLs for maybe all of the HTTP status codes that I care about, the 500 and maybe 204s or whatever it is that I want to test. I don't need a whole new separate function. I just add data to the table. So now that I have this collection of input and expected output, I go back into my given when should. And I say now, given the need to test downloading different content, and now immediately before the when, we're in our for range. So we're going to for range over our table. A lot of time I like to call the table tests and use TT as the variable for each test that we're going to execute. And now you can see on line 29, we're using the I variable as that test number. So test 0, test 1, test 2, and then we're using TT to show that input and expected output on the when. Again, this is why I love that idea of given when, what are we really testing, what should happen. You can see the rest of the code is really the same as before, except instead of using those variables, we're using our TT for the URL. We're using TT on line 39 to test the status. So if we run this now, right now we have two different cases here in our table. We run this, go test minus V. What we're going to see now is two tests that ran in the scope of this complete unit test, right? Test 0 was testing the blog for a status 200. Test 1 was testing the CNN for the status of 404, and in both cases, they succeeded. And now what I can do is, over time, if things are failing in my software or a new case presents itself, I don't have to go and write a whole new test function. I'm just going to come in here and add another test case right in here for the different statuses that I care about, right? So I can literally just come in here at some point and say HTTP status. I don't know, let's check. We already did that status not found, right? So there's all these different statuses that we can check. And I can just come in here and add a new record to the table.